Being self-employed is awesome, but is it meant for you? In Belgium, there are more self-employed today than there's ever been in history. Why do so many people decide to work for themselves, leaving behind the stability, the security of employment? Well, we believe that thanks to the internet, thanks to technology, we have more access to tools, more access to skills, and we have an easier access to the market than we've ever had before. More and more professionals want the freedom of running their own business, and there's never been a better time to do that than now. However, being your own boss requires a lot of tenacity. You are both responsible for the success and the failure of your own business. You might be required to work odd hours, and you'll probably find it difficult to find a good working life balance, at least at the beginning. It's up to you to set your own goals, set your own priorities, make your own deadlines and meet them. Being self-employed is definitely not for everybody. But thankfully, in Belgium, there are several statuses that allow you to make an easy transition from employed to self-employed. Let's go over a few of the statuses that you can adopt in Belgium to facilitate your transition into full self-employment. But first, let's quickly go over the basics. As a freelancer, you will be earning money by invoicing for your product or your services. You will have professional expenses, such as resources that you need to run your activity. You will then need to pay social contributions, which means paying your share of healthcare, retirement, just like the rest of the working population in Belgium. Then you will have to pay income tax on what you earn, and you will also have to collect and pay VAT. The weight of these different responsibilities will depend on the status that you adopt. Let's go over the first status, student entrepreneur. This is a great status if you are eligible. The Belgian government intentionally made this status very advantageous to encourage young entrepreneurs and maybe help them pay for their studies. To have access to this status, you have to meet some conditions. You have to be between 18 and 25 years old, and you have to be enrolled in an educational program. But there are great benefits. Before you reach a certain threshold, you will not have to pay social contributions. And below a certain taxable income, you won't even have to pay income taxes. These are super comfortable conditions for self-employed. If your side income allows you to earn more than these limits, you'll start getting taxed just like a regular full-time self-employed. If you're the right age and if you're eligible for this status, we definitely recommend it. Then, of course, there is the part-time complementary self-employed. Complementary self-employed is a great way to test your idea without losing focus on your full-time job. It's a safe option because your full-time job already guarantees you access to social rights, such as unemployment benefits, retirement, and more. To have access to this status, you must be employed, at least part-time. There are also some specific cases, such as for teachers or early retirees. If you're interested, we get into more details in the blog post linked under the video. In this status, you are subject to the same tax responsibilities as a full-time self-employed. But since you're earning double income, it can quickly be very heavily taxed. The complementary status is great if you have a lot of professional expenses. That's what's going to help you pay less taxes. The status is really meant for people who are not ready to commit full-time yet, want to test their ideas, but who still want the security and the benefits of being an employee. And then of course there's the full-time self-employed. Alright, so you're confident in your ability to provide value, you're confident in your ability to run an efficient business, and there's a healthy demand for your service or product. Why not go full-time? Remember, there is no limit to how much you can invoice, so the more, the better. Of course, your tax obligations will increase alongside your income. Your social contributions will always range close to 21% of your income, and your income tax will evolve according to the tax bracket that you find yourself in. But being a full-time self-employed will allow you to concentrate 100% of your energy on running and growing your business. I think the exciting thing about being self-employed is that there are no limits. There are no limits to how much you can earn. There are no limits to who you work with or what industry you decide to tackle. Your playing field is infinite. But again, you are the only one responsible for your successes and your failures. And that's a lot of responsibility. The best self-employed know how to discipline themselves and hold themselves accountable just as if they were working for a boss, only to themselves. That's the best way to ensure that you are able to perform your activity in the long run, sustainably. Of course, being self-employed will require some sacrifices, but ultimately it can be a very rewarding decision. As an accountable tip, if you're thinking about becoming self-employed, we definitely recommend that you choose a field that you love, because even if you'll be accumulating many hours, it will never feel like work if you truly love what you do. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. See you in the next video.